Alright, this is the story of my first vision quest. 3 days in the middle of nature, alone, fasting, praying. That's it. Hey, I'm Vego, I'm a psychedelic integration coach, and today I want to share the story of my first vision quest. A vision quest, traditionally in indigenous cultures, it's known as a rite of passage, where somebody goes out into nature, into solitude, sometimes, and it is in a very small circle of a space, and it's just spending time there, just ripping everything apart, being naked before nature, not doing anything, no phone, no book, no notebook to journal about stuff, nothing. Just you, yourself, and nature. And it's been adopted in our Western culture as well. And we see some people offering retreats, offering vision quests with certain guidelines, and some have their own individual, unique kind of packages and surroundings and formats around this topic of a vision quest. And I have always wanted to do one. It's been on my list for a long time. And it's actually also part of the psychedelic actualization framework that I've developed. It falls under the category of habits, of action steps we can take to integrate our psychedelic experiences, or even to prepare for one, or even to synergize them both together, what I did here as well. I sprinkled in some 5-MeO-DMT, but that's a story for another video, which will play a part here as well. But I have never gotten around to do it. And now I just felt the call, and I was like, I don't want to pay somebody to do it, but why not just do it myself? I mean, the structure, the format is very simple. So you can just do it yourself. So that's what I did. And I want to share my story on how I prepared, how it went, what I learned, and encourage you to also take that action step. To not be afraid to actually go out and do the work yourself. Not just watch videos about it, but actually do the work yourself. Highly encourage it. And if you need some guidance around that, link is in the video description, we can have a chat. So, I cleaned up my room. I was in a phase where I was a bit uncertain what to do with my life. I didn't know where to go, what to decide. Everything is kind of like spiraling, thoughts over thoughts over thoughts. So I was like, I need to go out, I need to get into nature. Right before I went out into nature, I got a bit sick, which will play a big part in this story, unfortunately. And I did a nature retreat. I hiked up a mountain, 1,000 meters, barefoot, here in Germany. Beautiful mountain. I got back down, and that mountain itself destroyed me. And I got really sick after I hiked up that mountain. And then I still was at the decision point of I still want to do this 3-day vision quest. And yeah. Am I still gonna do it or not? And I decided I will do it. So first thing is the place. I gotta decide on a place, on where to do it. Where is a place in the middle of nature where I feel comfortable being? I know that there's no people around. I'm not gonna be spotted. I'm not gonna be disturbed. Maybe it's also not too dangerous, maybe, because I've been doing it alone. And yeah, so it was the scouting of the place is basically the first step. And I already knew a place in these mountains where I was before at a rainbow gathering, and it was in the middle of nature, so I was pretty confident that I could get there. Second step was the logistical preparations. Basically, I just took a tarp, a tent, something to sit on, and that's it. So sleeping materials and also a lot of water. So I did bring like lots and lots of water, which meant I had to carry my stuff to this place and made 2 rounds. So it was actually like a 4-day kind of like journey with this 3-day vision quest, because one day I was just setting up camp, basically. I was searching for the spot, deciding on the spot, and then carrying that water to that spot, going back down the mountain, going back up the mountain. So really like physically exhausting, up and down, setting up everything, setting up the tarp for shade and for protection against the rain. You could also not do that, but that's kind of like quite brutal, I would say. I did set up a little tent where I could sleep in, and that was beautiful. Actually, right when I arrived at that place where I was deciding to do the vision quest, it had this beautiful, beautiful view. I was just walking around there, and the first thing I heard was kind of like these wild pigs, you know? What's their name? Boltons? Like, and I was like, woo! This is actually the only dangerous, kind of like half dangerous animal here in Germany. And I was like, it was right next to my kind of like camping spot. I was like, okay, this is gonna be interesting, but I'll just go for it anyways. So, yeah, what happened? And then as I was setting up everything, I decided to officially kind of like start the vision quest, the 72 hours of fasting with a 5-MeO DMT experience. So smoked a good dose of 5-MeO DMT, had quite a beautiful experience, which I'll share in another video, to really deepen down my intentions for that vision quest. And coming to the intentions, it's quite interesting. So I guess everybody can have their own intentions, but basically for me what I did was to have as little intention as possible for the quest itself, for the time being there itself, to strip it down to its essence. And I really wanted to connect spiritually with myself, with spirit, with God, with nature. And so I've been getting into Sikhism lately, and my intention for the vision quest was basically very simply just to stay with the name of God. In Sikhism, they have the Mool mantra, the root mantra of that whole tradition. It's called Ik Onkar Satnam. And they have another kind of like expression, which is Waheguru. So Ik means one, Onkar means kind of like creation or God, or it basically means Om, the vibration of existence. And Sat Nam means truth is its name. So one creator God, truth is its name. Or Sat can also stand for being. So Sat Nam is kind of like the mantra I chose, and I just wanted to stay with that mantra. And Waheguru is an expression of like, oh wondrous Lord, or wondrous creator. Wah is kind of like a wow expression. Also stands for some other stuff. And Guru is basically he or it which brings light into the darkness, or transforms the darkness into light. So Ik Onkar, Satnam and Waheguru, kind of like the Mool mantra of Sikhism, that was what I wanted to stay with. And every time a thought was coming, or an expression was coming, or a distraction was coming, my intention was basically just to return to the name. Just to return to the name again and again and again and again and again. So that was my intention, basically. You could also, I guess, play around with having no intention at all. You could play around with even having an intention of really deepening your sense of purpose, looking for a vision, a direction in life. But I just wanted to return to the name and see what emerges out of that, basically. So, and then the rest of after the 5-MeO, the fasting was starting. I ate a meal after the 5-MeO to re-nourish the body it was Thursday evening. And then I basically stayed there till Sunday evening, just in this one spot. It was around 5 square meters space. Not even. When it was raining, I was down to a spot like literally just this chair, like 1 by 1 meter or 2 by 2 maybe. That was the size of my tarp, a really tiny tarp, which I stayed in. And then it was just sitting and chanting. And honestly, I can't report back that much from the experience itself. It was very simple. I loved the simplicity of it. So it was just sitting, sometimes standing. Not too much stretching, not too much exercising, as that's also kind of like a little bit of a distraction. And the first day was very beautiful, very sunny day, very beautiful day, very calm day. Second day was rainy and cold and a bit more harsh. and third day was kind of like where it was getting interesting with the fasting. It's also the first time I've done a 3-day fast, so I'm quite skinny, so I don't have much to fast on. I was always hesitant to fast more than 24 hours, but this time I did, and that was kind of like the most interesting part, definitely at day 3. Yeah, but overall in the first day, second day, third day, not much happened. No fireworks, no deep spiritual experiences, no emotional releases, no crying, no real challenge, no real difficulty, but also no real recognition of beauty, but just a sense of just being there. And sometimes there were thoughts coming mainly around people in my life. I was reflecting a lot on all kinds of people I have met in my entire life. And it's been an abundance of people, and the gratitude and the reflections on our interactions. That was quite interesting. That was coming up. And other than that, really, I was just staying with the name, just chanting, really singing a lot. It was difficult to just stay with the Satnam or just the Waheguru. So sometimes I was drifting off into other songs, and I kind of like circulated between just sitting silently and doing more like the Buddhist meditation, breath observation, Zen like do nothing, and then I was doing the singing, so the Mool Mantra, but sometimes I was not just staying with the Satnam, but with the whole of the Mool Mantra, the Ikonkar, Satnam, Katapurak, Nirabo, Nirave, Rakal, Murad Ajuni, Seban Guru Prasad Jap, Ad Sach, Jugad Sach, Hebi Sach, Naniko, Sibi Sach, was singing that. And also it drifted off into other mantras. Sometimes I was singing to Kali, to Krishna, to just other kind of like songs and mantras I was resonating with. And basically half of the time, basically I was singing, or more than half of the time. Also, I've been sleeping a lot, actually. That was another interesting aspect. When I was going to sleep in the tent, it was a bit more contained. So next time I'll not have a tent, definitely, when I'll be doing it, because the tent was almost like I was not in nature anymore. I was inside of the tent, and then I was sleeping for a long time because I knew I had a long day ahead, So I was stretching my sleep rhythm. I had weird dreams, like weird dreams, definitely. Like definitely accelerated weird recognition of dreams. Weird stuff as well, weird stuff. I can't remember the exact details, but weird dreams. That's been an interesting aspect of it. And yeah, other than that, as I said, nothing special happened. And that's a great lesson in and of itself. Because I'm always quite extreme, with the 5-MeO, with anything. I'm always seeking the most extreme kind of experience, the extraordinary kind of experience, kind of like the psychonautic drive in me. And this time it has taught me that it doesn't always have to be that special. It doesn't always have to be the deepest bliss or the ecstasy of that experience. There's also a great beauty in the simplicity of ordinariness, of just listening to the birds, of just thinking about people, of just staying with the name, even though it's not revealing itself in its most radical way, because that is God too, that is life too, that is the truth of that situation, of that experience. So that's been beautiful. And then at day 3, it got a bit more interesting. It got a bit more psychedelic as well. Third day of fasting. And then I was actually quite sad that it was already over. Because it was just getting interesting. Like with the fasting, it was not too difficult for me to fast. I had some hungry moments, but nothing really in particular that was challenging. But at day 3, it got interesting, and it got bit more psychedelic. I could recognize the DMT patterns, kind of like from similar to some Changa experiences of mine, and the trees were really kind of like increasing in their quality resolution, like hyper HD 4K resolution. It was getting quite interesting, and I could recognize spirit in the trees, in the forest that I was staying in. So I could definitely now understand and see a little bit more of the potential of fasting, especially in combination with isolation. I mean, it's a powerful, powerful practice, and what Jesus did, the 40 days of fasting, some other people are doing it nowadays as well, where it's really stripping everything apart and realigning you with the spirit, with the higher realms. So I was still sick throughout the whole time, which made the experience a bit more tough, I would say. But overall, that's been it. And then I was closing it down with a 5-MeO ceremony and continued to eat some food, packed everything, and went down again. So I encourage you, if you feel the call to do that, don't be afraid to do it. Obviously, do it in a responsible manner, in a safe manner. If you don't know how to do that, either consult with me or go out to these actual retreats, people who are offering it, indigenous cultures who are offering it, and do a proper vision quest where it's a little bit more guided and somebody is watching over you. Or if you do it alone, what I did as well, let somebody know where you are. So in case it gets really tough, you know, also have some emergency food. That's what I did as well. Have some water, have everything planned out a little bit more. So you're actually safe in that container, even though you're just doing it by yourself. But other than that, don't be afraid. It's a simple formula. The simplicity of that format of the vision quest is what makes it so powerful. It's just you and nature. That is it. That is it. Just you and nature. And then whatever is arising is the truth of your being. So, and then you can work with that, deal with that, dance with that. So powerful, powerful experience. Definitely will do it again. But after that, I came back and I definitely noticed for myself, I felt really sick. It's probably an individual thing for myself. And I've been sick ever since. So it's been a week or two and my body is really hardly recovering from this experience. But I did also, as I said, I hiked up the mountain while I was sick. I was pushing into the sun, heavy sunburn, pushing it with the 5-MeO, lots of 5-MeO journeys in a couple days, and the fasting. It was a bit too much for my system. But overall, powerful experience, highly recommended. Vision Quest falls into, as I said, the psychedelic actualization framework beautifully. And I'm excited to do more similar things, you know, a darkness retreat, sensory deprivation in combination with psychedelics. Really just exploring ways and formats and structures and spaces where the inner depth of your being is revealed, because it's stripped down. You have nothing else to do or to distract yourself, just to see who you are and what you are. So that's about it. I hope you enjoyed the trip report of the Vision Quest, and see you in the next one. Blessings.